Alright, so for my happiness experiment, that's an overview of the whole project. It was about a book that we read called The How of Happiness by Sonia. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I've heard it so many times, but still can't remember. Anyways, so she wrote a book, and the whole project was to focus on 12 activities to achieve the most happiness, and so we were able to focus on 2 activities for 12 weeks. So the activities that I chose and thought would be something awesome to focus on is committing to goals and nurturing relationships. So my committing to goals, I decided to choose a different goal each week that would improve my life and help me achieve happiness. And then the nurturing relationships, I decided to focus really on my parents. I'm the youngest of 5 kids, so I thought it'd be nice because I have a deep relationship with my parents, but it's definitely gotten less strong as I've been growing up and away from the home. And so with these activities, we were to write about them and record a journal for 12 weeks and rate on a scale of 1 to 7 how we felt in different categories, which I'll talk about now. It was on a scale of 1 to 7, 1 being not at all, 4 being somewhat, and 7 being very much. And so we were supposed to rank how we felt, like if this came naturally to us, if we enjoyed the activity, what the value was of the activity, do we feel guilty, is that the reason why we're accomplishing it, and the situation that we're in. So my initial reaction to the whole project was not very good. I thought, wow, 12 weeks seemed like a ton of time, and I was questionable, like, is this really gonna make a difference in my life? I was a little bit overwhelmed just because 12 weeks is a long time, a big chunk of time, and writing journal entries, I was like, wow, that's gonna take a lot of focus. But I was also ready for the challenge. I was ready to find happiness and see if this actually worked for myself. So the challenges I had experienced during this time was I started to lack some motivation in week 6, just because it was like the halfway mark. But also I think the next week after that, week 7, is when I actually started to see a really big change. Another challenge I had was some weeks in my journal I wrote more than others and went into more detail, and other weeks I was like, no, just write a little bit. And going along with that, like some goals were better some weeks than others. What I learned from the overall experience was my happiness actually increased. I saw a big change. I had a better perspective about the whole project and also about happiness in general. I realized that focusing on just 2 activities with 12 weeks was not as challenging as I thought. It was a lot easier and very enjoyable, actually. And I really learned how you can fit happiness and the activities around it to fit my own interests, values, and needs, because everyone's happiness looks different. So my results. So to start with week 1, I decided to choose a goal of starting to make goals. I planned it out, like what goals I was going to make for each week. And then also week 1, I decided I was going to pick my parents to nurture that relationship. By week 2, I had a goal to finish the homework by Sunday, and also nurture the relationship with my parents by calling them twice that week. And week 3, I decided to eat healthier. So I decided to plan out my meals for that week, and also I nurtured the relationship with my parents by FaceTiming them. Usually I just call them if I'm going to talk to them, but I decided, hey, I should try to deepen our connection by FaceTiming them. And also I forgot to mention that in week 1, I had a high score within the like natural part of it, but then the enjoy, I had like a 5, and then value is like a 5 as well, and then guilty I put 7 because I feel really guilty if I don't call my parents or like at least talk to them once a week, which I know for everyone this is different, but for me it's like if I don't talk to them I feel pretty guilty because they are a big part of my life. And also the situation I ranked as a 6 to begin with, but this will change as the weeks go on. And week 4, I forgot to mention, was the goal I set to spend 30 minutes outside, and I really liked this one because I was able to go on walks, hang out with friends. The weather was starting to get a little bit better during this time, so it was fun to be outside. And nurture, I sent a letter to my parents just thanking them for being involved in my life, which I thought was kind of sweet and fun. So during this project, I decided to continue on, and I forgot to mention, so week 4, I also was able to take the second time of the quiz on page 84, and I scored a much higher scoring than I did my first time. So my first score was a 3.69, which is pretty average for college students, but then this score during week 4 was a 4.41, which is huge. Anyways, to continue on, week 5, I decided to keep my room clean, and my roommate was very happy about this. She commented a couple times, so that was important to learn, that I should keep my room clean throughout the whole week and not just clean it once. Nurture, I decided to spend time with my parents because they were in town visiting from Washington. And week 6, my goal was to have a positive attitude. I struggled a little bit just because, again, it was the halfway mark. I was kind of tired with school, but I kept chugging along. And nurture, I decided to text my parents a couple times throughout the week just to tell them I was thinking about them. And week 8, I decided to drink more water. I am pretty bad at staying hydrated, and this was a good goal for me to have. And also my nurture part, I decided to ask about my parents' childhood, and it was super interesting to learn about their stories and how they acted as kids and just growing up. So after, this is kind of the last section of the project, week 9, we had spring break, and I decided to learn a new topic for my time off of school. So I learned about track and field, because that's something I'm interested in. Nurture, I wasn't the best because I was just spending time with a lot of my friends and living up spring break, so I only called my parents once. So my scoring wasn't super great that week. Week 10, my goal was to sleep at least 9 hours, which was nice. I love sleep. Nurture, I decided to FaceTime, Zoom call, phone call my parents. Week 12, decided to learn some coping techniques and post a picture of my parents on Instagram. And week 12, I decided to focus on getting ready for finals and spend time with my parents again. So, wrapping up, I enjoyed this project a lot. My scores were improving. My goals were very meaningful. Relationship with my parents were being strengthened and nurtured, and I had a better attitude and thoughts overall about the project. So the impact that this project had on me was I had a very positive experience. My emotional state was growing, and it became natural and more enjoyable, and my relationship with my parents were strengthened, and my goals are not something I enjoy, but I think they are the key to success. And a quote from the book I just want to bring up is, happiness is not out there for us to find. The reason that it's not out there is it's inside us. And I thought that was really a powerful quote, and I loved doing this project and reading this book. I think it's very impactful.